Our Eunice Yoon joins us from Beijing with the latest on the escalating fight. Eunice.
Thanks so much, Sarah. Well, I just wanted to show you some of the front pages of the newspapers today. The Global Times, which is the Communist Party paper, says the renminbi to remain stable despite depreciation. The China Daily says fluctuations of yuan exchange rate normal. And of course, this message is being said in both English as well as Chinese because the message is just as important for a domestic audience as it is for an international one. After the big sell-off yesterday, Beijing would be very wary of a repeat of what they saw in 2015-2016. When a devaluation in the renminbi led to capital flight as well as panicked investors. So the priority seemed to be in Beijing to make sure that everybody understood that the government here would make good on its promise to stabilize the renminbi. There was another message, though, in the state media today aimed towards the Trump administration, and that is that the U.S. is creating international disorder. And the reason they said that was because they were slamming the government's decision, the U.S. government's decision to label China a currency manipulator. In fact, the central bank today had said that the U.S. move is unilateral protectionist behavior that violates international rules. The bank pointed out that China doesn't meet the U.S.'s 3 criteria for the label. And you guys were talking about it earlier. Secretary Mnuchin has said that now he would go to the IMF and have a conversation in order to, quote, eliminate the unfair competitive advantage of China's action. And the central bank addressed that as well, saying that the IMF believes the yuan exchange rate is generally in line with fundamentals. So from Beijing's perspective, the evidence is in China's favor. Now, the latest developments would make it seem as though the escalation of tension is just going to get worse. But I spoke to a source who consults with the Chinese negotiating team, and he said that China does want to have a trade deal. So you're probably going to see a lot of firm and strong rhetoric, but the action towards the U.S. is going to be much more moderate. And for an example, he said that yesterday we heard the Chinese announce that they were going to suspend the purchases of American agricultural imports. But he said that the Chinese were really careful in choosing the word suspend as opposed to say cancellation because they wanted to send the message that China still wants to reach a compromise with the United States.